So we've got power points here, but today we're adding power points here, 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 and here. And with Andy's help, we're installing solar panels here. And we're going to see just how capable we can make this 12-volt system work. The mission is to make the 79 the most capable touring version that I can possible. Last time we got the train Canopy fitted, now it's just a big empty box, so no touring rig would be set up completely without a 12-volt system. So today, it's all about 12-volt and making this a real touring vehicle. So the boys at XCS did an amazing job of fitting the Voyager in the battery. They've provisioned the solar and rooftop temp power, which we're going to use for the awning, beautifully. But now it's all over to us to fit this out the way we want it. So look, I was talking to the boys at EnerDrive, and they said, because I wanted to fit an extra GPO on the back wall and also shore power to come in. And while we were there, we're spitballing a few ideas, and they said, look, in one of their utes that they've done, they've put an outlet in all four corners of the ute just to give you options. And I'm like, that could work. So we've sort of turned this idea into what is going to be a very, very optioned up 12-volt system that we can use. It's so adaptive. If we don't want to boil a kettle here, we can boil it down there. If we want to charge drones, we can do it over there. If we want something else, the air fryer plugged in over there, we can do that. We can put stuff on the back trundle drawer table. So we've got so many options, and because this is a massively powerful system now with the 100 amp DC to DC and 300 amp hour battery, we're going to have two 190 watt solar panels on the roof, which I am so lucky because Ando, who you know from the channel, Ando is actually a Sparky and he specializes in solar. So who better to put solar on the roof than Andy? So he's going to get cracking with the solar panel. I'm going to get cracking with the PowerPoints, and I'm going to show you what I've had to do because I don't want to drill into the canopy wall. So the 3D printer has been involved again. So with the back of the brackets, I've designed this plate up in Auto Fusion 360. So, and the idea is to screw that PowerPoint onto those two blocks. I'll sick it too so it all sticks, but that'll just give it a bit of extra support. I'm printing 3 of them right now in the 3D printer, so they should be ready in the next half an hour. We'll get them out, get them on the back of the PowerPoints, and in the meantime, we're going to provision all the wiring in so we can just stick it all in together. All right, these are the power outlets that we got from EnerDrive. Now, they look like a standard household PowerPoint, but at the back of it, it doesn't require wiring up. These actually are all plug and play. These just all plug in. The whole circuit doesn't require wiring. It's very, very cool. Now, you should obviously get this looked over by a Sparky. I happen to live with one, so he's going to look after it when I finish, but this will just all plug and play. It's very, very simple to install. We will wrap all of this in Coro. I was initially going to put it on these beams, but I think it would stick out too far and it looks a bit ugly there. So what I've done, I've printed a panel in the 3D printer with a couple of blocks on it so I can plug onto this box that I've made. And then I'm going to Sikaflex that to the wall right there. So it's going to look really neat, and it's protected because it's nearly flush with this, this box section here too. So I think that's going to be the best way to mount all 3 of them. And we're going to daisy chain it all across so it all looks neat. It's all wired beautifully and will be wired up. This is actually, on paper, quite an easy job. All right, off to the solar.
So with installing we're having 2 panels up here. We're going to use these are just end clamps that you use on your normal solar panels on your house. So all we've done is we've taken the bracket that would clip into your rail normally, and we're just going to nut-sert into your frame here. And that's going to clamp there, sit down there, nice like that. It's very sturdy. With these being 2 up here, we're going to put them in a parallel formation, so instead of series, because with 12 volt you increase your amperage rather than your voltage when you put them in parallel. So all you do is pretty simple, is just got to put 2 branch connectors on your positive and negative coming up, and then when you wire them, you obviously just bring both your positives back, both your negatives back, and that will increase your amperage rather than your voltage, because if you do it in series, you'll end up getting, your 24 volt and stuff like that, and it's not really what you want. So with having a solar panel here, Dad's going to have a bracket here for his awning, so we're going to offset the other one sort of in between the bracket there, so you can access it later on if you want. So yeah, so I'm going to get stuck into that. We're just measuring up whereabouts we're going to put everything, and we're going to put the nuts in, and off we go.
Where did I put that screwdriver? Oh, look what I found. Subscribe, go on, click it now. See you soon. So I'm using, it's called, I've just been to Bunnings, I picked it up. I don't know if this is the right stuff or not, but it's Sikaflex 227. So this is a fast premium car body sealant. Now Andy used this on his car to seal, or to stick the back power point on his Canopy. So it says it's flexible, and it does say that it does, Sikaflex 227 bonds well to all materials commonly used in body shops, metals, metal print painters, prime coating, paint coatings. It's a permanent elastic seal of high adhesive strength. So we'll give it a go.
Alright, so I'm pretty much halfway through my roll here. Both solar panels are mounted and they're not going anywhere, which is awesome. So next stage, as you can see, we got both the cables up here ready to terminate. So what we're using, these are called branch connectors. And this is pretty much how you do it in a parallel formation. So positive come up and then plug into both of these. So you imagine your male plug will be able to plug into that and also this one as well. And then they go down one common cable back down to your DC-DC. So that's how we're going to wire it up. I'll make it look a bit more neater than that. And yeah, we'll get into it.
Right, so now that Andy's finished the solar, we're just going to drive it out into the sun that's just come out and test it. All right, let's have a look, see what he's done. House battery, yep, so, well, there's not much sun, but it's saying 5.6 amps, and it's gone behind a cloud.
Yeah, horrible timing.
Horrible timing. Is it going to come out? Oh, it'll come out shortly. So the sun has just come out. It's still not overhead, it's over there a bit, but nonetheless we got up to about 19.5 amps coming in. The solar panels are flat, and I suppose if they were angled up there would be a lot more energy coming into it, but if the sun was overhead we might get to 25 amps on a really good day. I'm happy with 19, 25 hours, it's 100 amps into the battery. If we're flat as a tack, that's still 33% charge. Don't forget we've got the 100 amp DC to DC, so even if we start the car and put it on fast idle, it's going to pump in 100 amps in an hour. So we're sweet. 20 amps during the day will easily run both fridges and give us more power back into the battery, so we're not going to be in a deficit come sunset. Thank you, Ando. They are as strong as you like to. They're not going anywhere. Onto the plugs. It is the next day. I actually had to leave and do some stuff last night, so we're back again today. Now, what we've done is we've finished off all the corals off the cable. So these all come in different lengths. I think they come from like 200 mil, 250 mil, right up to, oh, I don't know, it's definitely 5 meters, but it could be even longer. And they've both got a male and a female end on them. So the way these join together is on the back of the GPO, there is a male and a female plug. So these will daisy chain. So the aim of the game today is we're going to start with the GPO that's already in the Voyager. I'm going to take a feed out of that, put it into a splitter. So we put one cable in and we get two out, just in the middle of the Voyager and the battery. So we're going to split one cable that's going to go up across the roof canopy and down the back. So that's going to start our cables for the back of the canopy. And then the other feed's going to go up over the 300 amp hour battery and go to the GPO that's just going to be right here at the front of the canopy. So with all the plates that we sicked on the other day, they're completely set. They're absolutely rock solid. So now we can start collecting these in and screwing these covers onto the plates that we already glued on. And it should be as easy as that. We wanted a system that would give us all the energy that we needed without ever having to worry about power when we're off grid or when we're traveling. And that's kind of one of the reasons why we went with the EnerDrive, with the Voyager in particular, because it's one of those systems out of the box, it's amazing, but it's also one of those systems that you can keep adding on to and making better and better. So it came with a 40 amp DC to DC, we've upgraded it to the 100 amp DC to DC. We had a 200 amp hour battery, we've upgraded that to a 300 amp hour BTEC. We've now been able to just plug and play 3 or 4 GPO power points in, and the power on the back wall and shore power coming in too, so that if we are at any sort of power source now, we're not worried about how good the power source is. We can plug it in knowing that we're protected, and we just can keep building. If we find we need more, I don't think we'll need more than this, because honestly, this is now a complete weapon of a system. And don't forget, we've got another 120 amp hour in the cab with another 40 amp DC to DC, both EnerDrive. It's the brand new 120 hour ultra waterproof battery that's sitting in there. So we're literally never going to run out of power, I don't think. With the EnerDrive ecosystem, the way it works out of the Voyager, these power points that they have, they all click together ridiculously easy. Now, you should obviously get a Sparky to run his eye over or her eye over the 240, because it is a 240 installation, but because there's no wiring, it is a lot easier. I've had Andy, who's a Sparky, run his eye over this, tells me it's 100% right, no dramas at all, so that's really cool. We've put the Caro on, we've techied it into the uni struts around the side of the canopy, so all the cable management's nice and neat and all the power points are installed. And Andy gave it a good shake last night and he goes, Dad, for you, that's actually a really good install. It's not going anywhere. So that's a tick in the box too, I reckon. So moving around to the back of the canopy, we're going to put these both in the back wall. This is the outlet for plugging anything 240 into. This is the shore power inlet, but also on this side is an RCBO. Now Andy tells me this is a double pole one, and this is to protect the cables. If we plug in the shore power, we're not sure if it's a dodgy source, this will protect the whole setup from fusing, and it just protects it. I don't understand, I'm not a Sparky, but this protects that. So I'm putting this on the back wall. Now EnerDrive have been very good enough, and they've given me a template so I can measure where this goes, and we'll cut it out with a die grinder and we'll get this both mounted on the back wall too. Okay, so the scary bit's over. We got them done. We've got them all screwed in. Everything's screwed in and nice. Can't wait to get the black one now. And this one too here. So let's plug it in. I literally haven't tried this yet. All right, I think we're away. So, no, we're not. Hang on. All right, we might be away now. Here we go. Kettle's boiling on the back of the tray through that circuit. When we get the shore power plug in there, and that will charge the inverter up, 100 amps an hour charger. It doesn't get better than that. That was literally one of the easiest installs we have ever done for 12 volts. So let's just recap what we've done. We've put the Voyager system, the boys at XTS put the Voyager system in. We've connected the solar on the roof, and we've also put 3 double power points on the walls, and there's one on the back wall too. So we've got all up, including the 2 here, we've got 9 power points now in the Cruiser, which is ridiculously overkill. And I know in the comments I'm gonna get smashed, you don't need any of those, you're not camping anymore, rah, rah, rah. I get it, but I can, so why not? Like a couple of 3 extra, at this stage of the build, when it's easy to run all the cables into the corners, why wouldn't you? I never know when I'm gonna need these. I may never need them, but they're there if I do. So coming up in the next episode, we are going to fit out all the canopy. If you have any ideas of what you think I should do in here, I would absolutely love to hear them, because I've got a few ideas of myself. I do have a fridge that's definitely going in. I do have a drawer fridge for beers that's definitely going in. Everything else is kind of, I could be swayed either way. I've done all the normal stuff. It works, so I might keep doing that. But if anything new and fancy, hit me up. Make sure you do tune in for that. So drop a comment below if you like what we've done so far. Please remember to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.